Hello.
So true.
It's all good.
Yep. Alrighty. So how was everyone's date today? Hopefully green.
Little green, but enjoyed watching all that big green get printed.
Very green.
Yep. I was very, very green.
Good
'Cause
day.
remember, I had about 100 contracts of TQQ. I had a lot of 390 spies for March. Had some Tesla, had some Netflix, some Apple. Yeah, I was burning a little bit for a while, but I believed in my analysis, which was key for me, right? That it works out, and I was very close to being stopped out pretty much out of everything. So it was good that it worked out and kind of boost your confidence overall, right? As a trader, when you see something and you want to believe that it's gonna work, that it works out, and if it doesn't, it's actually the same importance to make sure that you cut it. So, and I was indifferent. But, I posted a few days last week when I lost, I believe it was 10K, and I posted it for you guys. I didn't make that 6 times today, so that was good.
Don't forget to share your screen, Shorty.
Oh, I thought I was. Well, let me do that. So it was a good day for me. Hopefully, you guys, if you did not make money, if you watched the charts today, it was there was quite a few lessons in the charts today, right? So I will start here for a little bit on a blank sheet, just to kind of cover some basics with some of you guys here, especially if you're new. I'll switch to regular hours, and we're gonna make this a little bit interactive for people here that are fairly new. And a few of you that have been answering that nonstop, don't answer any of the questions. Thank you. All right. So what do you guys see here? When you look at this, let's say from this day on, which is Tuesday, January 10th, what do you guys see? Let's see. Don't make me pick. If you're new, speak up. It's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah, it looks like some accumulation at the top.
Okay.
And then later we found out it was distribution once today happened.
Okay. Is there any signs that you could tell from what I'm circling that you would know potentially that there's a distribution happening?
I would say there were two topping wicks at the top.
Okay, keep going.
So as we moved up, you started to see a lot of topping wicks. So was that on the 13th? There was two topping wicks, and then 2 days, day and a half later, there were another topping wick, and then today there was a topping wick.
Okay, yeah, that's very good. The only thing that I would add to that is that you had the volume telling you also a pretty good story, right? So if you look at the volumes and relative strength to volume, that remember effort and result is what you're interested in when you're looking at consolidations. Same thing that we were doing here, right? You're looking at the effort and the result of the candles. The result meaning the body of the candles. How is it, right? Is it matching the volume relative to the previous candles, relative, to the right, to the left? And then overall, right, if it's big volume, I expect to see some, if it's a big body spread, meaning the body of the candle is big, I would expect to see some pickup in the volume. And I like to use this 20 EMA on volume. Just tell me wherever you are on the average, and you can change this to whatever you like. I don't care if you use 10 days. But you can kind of figure out, hey, is this candle here above average? So there are some warning signs, and we all noticed it. I would say a lot of people noticed it in the chat, right? I know KSN was on there screaming volume anomaly in all fucking time frames. And yeah, I mean, the goal is that we identify it, and it triggered warning signs, right? And this one here was the one that really did it for me, where I started buying some puts. Does anyone know why this one particularly? This one right here.
No wick at all.
This is considered one of the most bullish candles that you can have, right?
The
When you
volume
really,
to cause that candle.
Yep, and the volume on that, I mean, this is Friday, right? And I don't know if were we open all day Friday, or I don't know what day it was that we weren't.
I think that was
We were
Monday.
It was
Friday.
Monday that we had a
Okay.
partial day because of MLK.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I just don't keep up. I'm bad with dates and names and holidays and birthdays. So here, this is a full day, and if you think about this volume, and I want you guys to engrave this in your head. And I know a few people that do a really, really good job in this Discord with the anomalies, right? You have Shorty long. I know Beans got it. I think Rumi's starting to pick up. I know Big Bull's got it. I know some people that are, just automatic. I know Catching Rock is the standard people that have been here for a little bit. You guys pick it up. But this is immediately telling you, I'm on 2 hours, right? It's telling you, oh man, what a big candle, half of, even below the average. You compare this candle to this one, the body is relatively close to each other. Twice as much effort in buying here when the price dipped 39.65 than it is here once we entered a little bit of supply where we were before. And then it doesn't take, too much effort to kind of scroll over to the left. You look at this level right here, and you're kind of in supply because this is where they dumped it from last time, right? So now they just basically check this imbalance, or this supply was checked, meaning, hey, we came back here, we sold off from it. So that was one of the signs that I was looking at, and then you nailed them, right, Junior? You nailed every single one of these. You have a small body with the wick here. To me, this is an indecision candle, right? As you're sitting in the supply, then you get another push, and then a little bit of aggressive selling. But what happens on the bottom is fairly important, right? You pick up on the volume and it's pushing down, right? You're making a lower low from the previous 2-hour candle. You made a higher high, but you made a lower low as well. Here you make a lower high, but you made a higher low. So you're kind of consolidating. And then you see the consolidation here is pretty much stuck. And I mentioned in the morning, if you guys recall, I said they're testing this 40-30 supply multiple times to see how heavy it is. Right? Is there a lot of aggressive sellers here? Well, when you tap the wrong bear a few times, and if he's hibernating, you're gonna get the full load of it, and that's kind of what happened here. Of course, the market, if you want to believe, the word manipulate is thrown around a lot. It is manipulated, right? All the big boys are in it. Then the news start coming out, right? The Feds. All of a sudden, if you guys notice the tone of the Feds, was it different than last week?
Quite hawkish today.
Say it again.
I said quite hawkish today.
Well, it changed a little bit, right? They're talking about we might have to increase the rates a little bit. Anytime government tells you they have to do something for a little bit, just go into history and see how long was that little bit. Corona was, what did they say, transitory in July, was going to be gone once the heat comes in, right? Inflation was transitory, was it not? Those are all just a little bits from the government. So, and I'm not telling you don't trust your government, but anytime I hear those type of words anywhere, it'll be quick, it'll be, instant. Man, I change my tone and I try to figure out, what's the worst case scenario, and I take that one. So same thing here, they started being a little hawkish, and we were sitting at a supply. I was bullish above that 435 level if they're able to close and retest, and that was great for the day. Then on 5 minutes today, if you guys, let me just make sure this is Wednesday today. So we had a triangle here. I don't know if you guys recall, but I kept telling you guys, if the triangle breaks, the first break on a triangle is going to lead to a move. And it pretty much did, right? And if you guys think about the structure, what they did compared to yesterday, that was our PDH. This is our PDL, correct? And what type of day did we have yesterday?
Sideways.
Definitely sideways. This is your sideways day. It's one of the worst days you can trade. Most people blow up their accounts on this day or a trend day. 80% people blow up on a trend day. The other 20 tends to lose it on this day. Because Theta is taking your money on this day, and your ego is taking your money on a trend day. So hopefully you guys can remember that, because it will come back to you multiple times if you don't have rules. On this triangle, so I did take the short, right? So I was in the 39.90 puts. I had a brain fart. And we grabbed them. I think it was 3.7 or 3.9. We can check the log. And they literally dumped pretty fast 7.2, and I was like, hey man, that's pretty good. I took my profits, and then of course, you know, they went down. I did add some positions. I had SPY, and then I took another SPX short, and then they gave you plenty of opportunities. And I'm just summarizing the day for you guys. If you're playing accumulations and the retest, right? When you're in a trend day, there's no reason not to play the bear flags and place it above the highs. When it's a trend day, you should really not be making what? In terms of structure, if it's a trend day,
Don't go against the
Higher
trend.
high
you
or
should
higher
not be
low.
making higher highs. So if you're using 5 minutes, a trend day will never have higher highs. Do you guys see any higher highs?
Nope.
There's not a single higher high here. On trend days, you can play the bear flags, and obviously this was telling you it's a trend day. Once we broke the 4,000, I told you guys it was most likely the 39.60 level was going to be pretty magnetic, right? And I mean, we nailed that January PD value area high. If you guys look here, I took long from here to here. But then once you broke this bear flag, you continue down, and I think you guys see the story where we're headed right now. So we'll cover that. But does this make sense from today? Like how you can read this? At least, how do you set up your bias, right? If this is your PDA, just your PDL, you're breaking before previous day low. That's a bear sign. How many times did you break below PDL in the previous days? Sunflower, how many times do you see on the chart that you broke the PDL on any of these days?
I don't see the PDL.
Well, just think about it. Every one of these circles is one day. Here's your PDL for this day. Here's your PDL for this day. Here's your day PDL for this day. PDL here. Did we ever break the PDL the next day? Meaning
No,
this day broke this one, this day broke this one. Did we ever do that?
no.
No, we never did. Then at the top, when you're sitting at the distribution, you're sitting at the supply, you're breaking the PDL. And then if you zoom in a little bit, and the triangle break was also pretty violent on volume. It's something that you want to see when you're, trading. If you're trading triangles or bear flags, whatever that might be, you want to see this ladder. You want to see the volume picking up as you're accelerating. This is accelerating. You want to see the volume accelerate this way as well. And that's when we took that trade. So that was good. But this was the first time in, I think, 7 days that we broke the PDL here. I think from here, so which was January 10th till now, we did not have a PDL broken. And this one here, if you count it, that's okay. But we trapped shorts here and then continued higher. So pretty much since I would say since call it here, if you want to call it January 9th, you never broke the PDL, and then you do it here. So that was pretty evident, right? That they're gonna run it. Okay, so that was that. And then did you guys see anyone say warning yesterday?
You did.
What did I say?
Warning has been issued for bulls.
And why was that?
The profile shape, and we closed below POC.
Was it this one?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go back so you guys can kind of learn what you're doing. How many times from here have you closed below the session POC? From here to here.
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday. Right? So if you're thinking about it, and if you guys remember the lesson that we had on Sunday, so this is your well, your L shape, and on L shape, you're closing below the PD POC. That means two things, and I'll just reiterate so you guys can start remembering the market profiles or volume profiles. You push the price up and you created, remember I said there's a large HVN that was sitting here today. This was that one there. You push the price up, but what happened? Immediately, the sellers did not find any value outside of this range. And what did they do? Because if you go from potentially P shape and you end up in a L shape or B shape, whatever you want to call it, that is a pretty drastic shift, right? So that's one. That's telling you we came here and this supply was just very heavy, and they shifted the volume profile, potentially from P to B. What does this say in PowerPoint about B shapes in an uptrend?
Potential reversal.
Potential reversal. And now you add that if it's a potential reversal and uptrend with the B shape, that they tested the upper side and they converted it to B shape, and you close below the PDP or POC, not PDP, I'm sorry, POC. How many confirmations that for warning?
Like 3.
You got 3 warnings literally off a volume profile telling you something's off. Right? So that's the confluences when you're trading and when you're learning. What you're trying to do is build up confluences, and you're trying to read the picture, what the market's telling you. Is there a high chance that we go to 39.20 and literally rip from here? Very strong chance. If we don't hold this, then they're in a little bit of a trouble, right? So if you're not able to hold this 39.20, then it becomes a little bit of a problem for the bulls. But does this make sense, how we structured it, how we reviewed it? Does it make sense to everyone on the call?
Yeah.
Why I issued the warning signs?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that's what I want you to do. When next time when I ask you, is there any warnings? Your mind should be to, hey, let me review the volume profiles, right? And if you just pay attention to volume profiles and you look at them in the uptrends and the downtrends, I promise you're going to notice something that repeats a lot. And it happened here, happened here, it happened here, and they reversed it. They dipped it more. This was, when you see something like this, when the POC stays on the bottom and something like this, no, it's always going to come back to the bottom of that POC.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
It's right there.
90% of the time when you see a POC on the bottom on a B shape and you see a short covering rally like this volume here is all the people that shorted and somehow, they initiated a short squeeze. They bottom, you'll be back fairly soon to that level. And boom, left the VPOC, came back, dipped below, regained, it went higher, right? So your job as you're learning this is not really just to listen to me, is to take what I tell you, go on a chart and kind of look at it, right? Spend 15 minutes every day finding something and reconfirming what you learned. By the end of the week, you will spend a lot of time when you do 15 minutes per day, because that's called compounding and learning, right? It's not only about compounding your account, it's everything you do compounds. So hopefully you guys, start believing first in compounding, learning, putting effort in it. If I ask you to do something and you ask for my help and I give you my time and I ask you to do certain things, I will never remind you to do it. It's your discipline and your effort that's going to drive it. So if you ask, seek one-on-one help or whatnot, I will always offer. I mean, I'm not lying, guys. I came home at almost 8:30, put the kids to bed. I haven't even had dinner yet. And I did the one-on-one and I'm doing this. And I'm not like, oh my God, feel bad. No, don't feel bad for me. I'm also learning as I'm doing this. So this is my time to reflect and update and see what I can do better for myself, what I can do better as an educator for you guys. but it's constantly adding a little bit more growth to yourself. Market changes daily. There's never a single day that's the same in the market. So, psychologically, and now the mental talk is, it's what you guys do every day for yourself. And half of you guys are going to get a surprise tomorrow. So hopefully you guys have your logs updated. And I'm not fucking kidding. Tomorrow when I ask you for your log, you better have the Excel log. If you're a lifetimer or not, you're out. If you don't have the log tomorrow, if your name is messaged to send the log that we use or your own log, you're going to be disqualified from the Discord, and of course you will not be able to join us. If you wanna become a professional trader, you wanna become a profitable trader, you have to change your identity. As a person, you introduce yourself as a professional trader. If you introduce yourself as, man, I'm learning this trading, what do you think you're wiring in your brain? You're wiring, 50% chance that you're a profitable trader. You have to change your identity from within, not outside. If you want to be something, if you want to be a doctor, call yourself a fucking doctor already. For yourself, in your head, you're a doctor, and you go and you follow systems and processes and what you can fix daily to get there. Do not go off of the goals. If you have a goal of making $100 a day, you can delete that shit. It will never work. And I don't care what Discord told you in your previous life that you're going to succeed if you have a $100 goal. Your goal is to fix the system and the process. Money will come, or whatever you're doing, it will come. And same with education. How many of you guys, AJ or Andy, are you still on your track for reading?
Yeah, I've been reading 15 minutes and more sometimes.
Okay, that's fair enough. And you guys don't believe me, but you do this daily, you're going to finish 30 books in a year. How many of you read 30 books in a year last year? How many of you read 30 books last year?
I definitely didn't.
I read like 4. That's no, not even close.
Yeah, probably 4 too, yeah.
So that's 800 pages. Fair enough. I don't think you guys read.
Yeah, that's all right. I'd say about that.
So yeah.
But think about it. How many days in a year?
65.
So how many pages per day you read?
2.
Well, if there was 800 pages, right?
2, 3, yeah.
You read
like two and a half
pages. Maybe if there's a picture in there.
Right, so it's not really shit. You gotta kind of like, that's like a really big way of looking at it now that I think about it.
Okay. Are you guys really investing in yourself, or are you fucking around on Facebook and social media? That's my question for all of you. You don't have to answer it. If you really want to get better at something, you have to be focused.
I'm working on that. My goal, I'm going on a trip next month. My goal is to read The Trading in the Zone, the whole book. I just ordered it and got in the mail last week.
And
My goal is
that
to finish it
Josh,
during my
that's
trip.
a mistake, right? And I'll tell you
What's that?
why it's a mistake. That's a mistake.
Why is that?
So here's a lesson that you can take from this, right?
I wanted to know because I was gonna do the same thing too.
Who's gonna make $1 million tomorrow in a trade? Josh, you or him? Who's gonna be making $1 million trade tomorrow?
Not me. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Andy, you? Who's gonna make 50K tomorrow?
I don't know.
Not me.
We don't know.
Okay. Those people that you don't know, what they focused on was making $30 a day for 5 years. They focused on the system and the process and compounding that. Once you teach the process and you learn that, you compound those gains, and then the 50K that he's going to make tomorrow, he's not making it as a one-time splash. That becomes a daily thing for him. And same for your reading. You want to read a book all at once and feel accomplished, but what happens when you don't have a vacation for next 3 months?
Overworked.
I could start another book, right? Couldn't I afterwards? Because I have the cooling.
I think you're missing the point. Does everybody else get the point?
No, I get your point for sure. Like, don't start small, basically, right? Not,
Just read
not
Still
15 pages a day.
do it all in 1 week.
Discipline
Consistency.
and consistency. You need 15 pages per day, 30 books. You're averaging 2.5 pages now. Double it. Read 5 pages and go to sleep. 5 pages is going to yield 1,500. That's going to be 100% increase in your reading. And my point is, you don't go from 0 to 100 overnight, right?
Correct.
If you guys, have you guys ever read anything about the British cycling team? I don't know if Dumpster's on. He might have if he's on. Did you guys read about them and their success?
Yeah, I heard about him.
I read about them in a book,
Yeah.
Atomic Habits.
Yeah, exactly. He talks about it also in Atomic Habits. I think it's chapter 1. And I think it's in his introduction or forward.
Yeah, in chapter 1, he talks about it, how consistency and
How
what
did they
made
win the
them
medals
change.
after after he came in? How did they win? Like, what did they change?
Like I had to just go back and check that one. It's been a while.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So for a lot of people that don't know, so in the book on Atomic Habits, they hired a coach, right? So his name was Brailsford, I believe. They hired him and he was really, really good, like for British cycling, because they struggled a lot for a very long time. I think 60 years. They were not, or maybe even more. I think it was 100 years in the book, but from what I've seen, 60 years based on the facts. They struggled to win a single gold medal. Then they reached out to the best bike maker, right? If you recall that from the book. And what did the best bike maker say? Do you recall that? So the best bike maker in the world declined to sponsor a British cycling team. Is that funny or not? I find it funny. I mean, you decline one of the biggest powerhouses in the world for a cycling team, sell them bikes. Just think about it. They said, you haven't won much, and we don't want to put a bad name on our brand with our bikes because it's not the bikes that's the problem. So then Brailsford said, well, we're going to flip every stone that we can, not only about humans, right? Like how to make them better. They redesigned the bike seats so they're more comfortable, right? They got 1% improvement on that. Then, for the performance, they asked, the riders to wear some electrical pads or whatever to read their health. Also, the shorts, they help them with the heating of the muscles. They did some crazy shit. When I say crazy, like the massage gels, like they use for, getting a massage, they even tested different massage gels and see how the cyclist's muscles respond. And the craziest shit that they did that I was like, what in the world? They hired doctors to see how the cyclists wash their hands. And this might seem like, man, what the fuck are you talking about, Shorty? All of those things they did, why do you guys think they did it?
To get an edge.
To get an edge, because they can't get an edge overnight in performance by a single human being. Making an edge in trading is not only you, it's what you do in the morning. Is your routine repeatable? Do you wake up in the morning at 6:30? I wake up every morning at 6:30. I read the news. I have my coffee by myself for 15 minutes before the kid wakes up. And I start off my day. I look at the chart, see if anything changed drastic. But it's repeatable every day. Right? I find a moment for myself. I prepare the breakfast. I do the same things over and over. I don't do them, after, of course, after work or whatever, trading, I don't do the same stuff. But once I'm in the trading, I find what I do and my mind it should not be altered, right? Whenever it's altered, I have a bad day in trading. I make silly mistakes because I'm not in the zone. So for you guys, you should be aiming for the discipline, right? Whether it's, reading books alone will not make you a better trader, but it's the whole you that needs to grow, right? And a lot of you, I don't know who all is doing the reading challenge, but I have not missed yet. And it's that makes a difference later on for you guys. And same as it did for this British team, right? I mean, winning 60% of gold medals in, what was it, 2008 in Beijing was the record. So those are the things that you guys as traders should be aiming for. How can I be better today? And the only way you guys can do that, does anyone have an idea from the, reflection standpoint?
Journal and see what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't journal, you can literally quit trading right now. You will have a hard time becoming a professional trader because you do not know what works, what doesn't. And there's quite a few stories back in the day about car mechanics, right? The best car mechanics, he had millions, but he didn't know how to do accounting. And every time he would, increase the size of the shop, and every 2 years after that, he would go bankrupt. And it's literally the same concept for you guys that trade on smaller accounts and learning. I had a one-on-one with somebody that he's really good. He's missing the mental side of it. He's very young, but it's like a boom and a bust. Like I make 1,000, then the next day I lose 1,500. Why do you guys think you guys do that? Does anyone know why you do that?
No rules.
It's exactly
Emotional trading.
you guys do not fucking follow rules. You guys are egomaniacs, and sorry to hurt your feelings that you don't want to follow rules. You want to be right. Market's not here to it doesn't care if you're right or wrong. It's a zero-sum game. So if you don't have the rules, and eventually market will catch you that you don't have the rules, and then you become the bust. But if you have the rules and you respect them and you journal. If you don't journal, you're going to have a hard time growing. I guarantee you will not know what works, what doesn't. But if you see something visually on your log, it didn't work fucking 10 times. Eventually, you're going to be like, man, I really have to stop doing that. How many of you guys know what you need to stop doing tomorrow?
I do.
Stop going on Twitter.
I do.
Yeah.
I eliminated that rule. I mean, I eliminated that one. That's a good one.
Do you have any template for doing setting a journals for how we need to plan for that?
Say it again. Sorry, I'm not following.
I'm just looking for a template to how to maintain a journal.
Oh, it's on Trading 101. Here, I'll tag you in it. I believe it's there. Let me see.
What if I don't have time to journal?
Then you don't have time to trade. You might as well stop.
I'm just joking.
No, that's okay. I mean, if you don't have time to journal and you don't have time to learn from your mistakes, then you're not ready to trade.
The one-on-one example you mentioned, it sounds like me, but I'm not sure if it is.
If you don't have time to journal, you also don't have time to plan your trade, which is also why you should not be trading.
Yeah, I was just joking. I'm just talking shit.
Yeah.
I know. But it goes out to anybody who watches the recording later. Like, if you really do not have the time to journal, you don't have the time to trade. Simple as that.
I'll say I started out, and when Shorty talked about journaling, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to do that. And when I finally started journaling, that was a turning point in my trading. Like seeing the mistakes, seeing where I'm not following my rules, like it just brought everything to light. And it made a huge difference in my trading. And 100%. If you're not journaling, you're literally just wasting your time trying to trade.
I can also vouch for it. And the first 5 days I started journaling, I stopped trading for 2 months.
I just started. I learned how to
I've been here for a little while, guys, but I wasn't journaling, and Rocket showed me how to get in the template, and I've been journaling. I don't have much to trade right now, but I took one trade yesterday, one trade today, and I've been journaling, and I already see that, if I follow my rules, if I'm wrong and I go and the trade goes against me, that's okay. I don't get as upset because I followed my rules. If I don't follow my rules, then it's like, I'm all upset and because I'm just taking a trade without no plan.
And you would not do that in your business. And a lot of you guys,
No.
it might sound like repetitive, but a lot of you guys are not taking it seriously just because you have another source of income. If you change your identity and you start believing in yourself as a trader, how long can a business, I don't know if Karthik's on, he's CPA.
Yeah,
Karthik, how long can you be as a business but not profitable before you have to close due to
Not so
IRS?
far. Not so long.
They will come after you guys.
Yeah, you
Like,
can't keep on showing losses and running the business forever.
yeah, they come and they say, hey, listen, idiot, your business is not profitable. This is a year 6. And you're doing the same things over and over. You can't do it anymore. And then most of the times, and I'm not saying it happens, but people sign Chapter 11, and then they recreate it, right? New business, and they start over and do the same shit over and over and over. But if you're treating yourself as a business, then when do you start thinking in terms of profitability and being a profitable trader?
Shorty,
Right.
you mentioned the right point. Like, because we have some source, we are not taking this as sort of a business, or like this is something I have to win. Hey, this is just something on the side. If it comes, it comes. It doesn't come. I think that attitude, at least for me, I need to get rid of it. If you do it with intention. Otherwise, just stay on the side.
Exactly.
Just
Your
don't.
focus needs to be to learn and to make a living out of this. And a lot of you guys want to, I think personally, and it's not only our community that we have here. I see people on Twitter, people from different Discords, and I've been in a different Discord. I think year 2020 was the biggest scam of retail trading I have ever seen. The most retailers got in, those stimulus checks, if you guys received them, did nothing for you guys individually, but they did propel certain markets, right? Because remember, compounding, if 200 million people got $1,400 and 70% of them put money into the market, yeah, that can move a needle, right? And a lot of them came in, a lot of them had these one wonder hits. Remember, it's talked about in trading in a zone where you get in the trade, you're big, you win big, and then you're trading with no fear. A lot of you guys experienced that, but you're still stuck in that cycle of not having rules and not having discipline of getting out of there. And to me, the only reason why you're not is because you're not taking this as the reason why you're doing it, right? If you change your mindset and you change your personality and your persona, what you want to be, and eventually you'll start being profitable. If you can take a trade and be carefree if you lose or win, something is off. That means you have an excess of money or you just don't care. If you cared about your losses more than profits, you would grow your account. Okay. All right. Hopefully I didn't hurt anyone's feelings. That's not my intention to, kill you guys, but the intention is to kind of give you guys a wake-up call to see sometimes if you're doing enough. And a lot of people in your life, friends, family, sometimes they're just gonna make you in that comfort zone of, go ahead and read your 2.5 pages for tonight, Josh, and you did great. No, Josh, that's not fucking great. 2.5 pages is miserable. You have more time. You spend more time on the toilet than you spend time reading.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right. So those are the little things that you guys can improve, right? I mean, it's a new year. It doesn't matter what year it is or what day it is. You need to start as sooner the better, right? Start adding those little bit of improvements to your life. Whatever that is. I don't know. I don't know what people do or don't do, or, like me personally, I have to start like, beating my daily step count, becoming more active. And, that's just the way, my life turned with 2 kids, trading, working from home, and, you become a little, I would say, lazy, right? I'll label myself, but that's nothing that, it's not for me. That I just need a spark, and then once I get going, I don't stop. But the key is that you don't stop, right? And a lot of people, when you guys think about it, even diets, right? Oh man, 2023 resolution, I want to lose 25 pounds. When you set a goal as such, what happens when you lose those pounds?
You feel great about yourself.
You'll get right back in your old habits.
I was gonna say, go back to your old ways.
Cheat days become more common.
Exactly. So you will reach that goal of losing pounds, and then people are gonna be like, man, you look so good, you lost weight. And then the lapse happens. Then it's like, man, I'm just gonna have that burger. I did great. I'll reward myself. But if you change your mindset and you're like, man, I really want to have a good physique, right? And I want to be more of an athlete type of body. Is that a different type of goal than losing 25 pounds?
Yes.
One is continuous. One you hit and you're done.
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
Different mindset.
It's a totally different mindset, guys. And we are programmed to be thinking systems and continuous improvements.
Slow and steady.
Little pieces. So think about this. If you haven't read Atomic Habits, I think for many people, I think it's one of the best books written about, like, I don't really like to read these self-help books, but that book, honestly, I would say is, I would give it a 10 out of 10. If you're going to read anything in this challenge, I would definitely buy it. I was going to buy some in Jackson Hole, but believe it or not, one of the biggest stores in Jackson, the bookstores, was sold out for 4 months. The lady said they just can't keep it in stock. And I don't know if you guys been in Jackson Hole. Whenever you have time, just Google who lives there.
The journaling side, like I think once you have the plan, that is also very key. Not to journal it after the things happen. I think that is also good, but I think you need to have everything filled in and stick to the plan in the journal. I feel like that is very important rather than journaling. I do that. Like I do all the transaction. I come on a Friday, I have to do it because I had to just send it to someone. I think that's a big fault I'm doing. I need to have the details filled in before I execute the trade. I think that will help me to stick to
I
my
think
plan.
that's good because you're waiting for setups. Remember, we are waiting for setups to come to us. And today, you guys heard me. What's the level I wanted to short on this drop? Does anyone recall what level I kept screaming?
78.
39.76.
39.76. Well, let's go and see if I can repeat that level again. Did I get in any other shorts here? Who wants to guess?
Nope.
I didn't have a single trade from here. Did I need to? No. Did I miss 76 to 45, I guess, here after hours? So let's see where we ended up. For right here, I guess, to 45. Did I miss 31 points? Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about this. Did I make quite a bit of money up here? That's also a yes. So why would I take this risk here when it's not coming to the setup that I play? If this setup's been giving me money, why would I deviate from it, right? Was there more setups that I could have played and, less or more aggressive? Yeah, there was definitely more, right? So there was, you had the accumulation here, you had another one here. But what I noticed, the imbalances were getting smaller. Meaning, if I go on, let's say in 15 minutes, this is a pretty good imbalance, right? Now look at this. It's a nice candle break, volume picked up. And then what do you notice about these imbalances like this one and this one? The volume's getting smaller, the candles are getting smaller, so there's no volume anomaly. But there is something market's telling you, there's a little bit of a slowdown on selling. Right? And then we had this level on the other chart, 39.57 to 60. And we were stuck here for a little bit, right? And then do you guys see this break right here? At 330, I don't know if this volume here is just as big and if it can justify this break. So I would be interested to see how do we react to this level tomorrow. If I was to play this zone, I want to see how do we react to this. So tomorrow is 3966.50 for me. So once we get into 61 and 66, I'm going to watch for candle formations to see an order flow, right? See, who's buying, who's selling, and then I'll watch. Is this my entry or not? Right? And then if you mark the PDPOC, which we'll do right now, it will tell me, are we bullish or bearish bias, right? We are approaching a level where, we talked about it earlier, 39.20. From this demand zone, did we retest this this demand zone ever since we left?
No.
No, we never really retested this. So I'm interested to see, if I go up to here, I should pick it up. This level here becomes fairly important. Right? So here you guys see that, there's really tiny little shelf here. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't send this lower. And, tomorrow you have the jobless claim. So that can propel the market up or down, depends how it's almost like good news are good news, bad news are also good news. So they can do whatever they want tomorrow. But these are the levels, right? Over 39.60. Are you guys bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
Bullish.
I'm bullish. Over 39.60, there's a high chance that we will go where?
3996.
Very good level. I would take this level right here where we
39.85.
consolidate it, and this would be the level that I'm looking for. This would be literally right on, because this is our PDPOC as well. So now if we turn on the SVPs, here's your SVP. I'm just gonna hide this guy for a second. So where's our POC right here? Okay, that's this one. Let me just make sure. There it goes. Know why I always change this.
So that you can have different levels than the rest of us and we can spend 15 minutes figuring out why every call.
No, I think it's somebody that fucking uses my account.
That's crazy. Quick question, Shorty. What was the book you were talking about in Jackson Hole? I missed the title.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits?
Yeah, meaning like
right on.
atoms, like molecules.
Okay, cool.
Okay, well, we are here at we're at a dangerous level now for shorting, actually. Ooh.
And quick clarification, Shorty, for the journal. If somebody's not trading and they're just studying in the Discord, they don't need to have a trade log, right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
So we have a lot of levels here. Let me just shift this on the top. Shift this one on the bottom.
Now I forgot the title of the book. Atomic what? I'm sorry.
Atomic Habits.
Thank you.
Are you high?
Dude, I'm having a really off day. I don't know what's wrong with me, but like, I literally thought 4 o'clock was 3 o'clock, and I mean, you saw it was like, who's ready for power hour, and then it was like 10
Yeah.
minutes till the market. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
Yeah. Okay. So fairly simple. If we can go over 39.60 and kind of push over the shelf here, a massive shelf that we have, it seems like the volume came in towards the end of the day here, and the 3:30 candle pushed this from here to here. What type of day is this? What do you guys think today is?
It's a B shape.
Yep, it's a B shape, and it's
Uppercase
called
B.
actually.
Or a long
Double
uppercase B.
distribution.
No, this is just a B shape with it's actually quadruple distribution, right? So
Wow.
it's not normal to see days like this, and if you guys go test it and find them, you'll have a really hard time finding somewhere where it's like 4 or 3.
Yeah.
This peak on the bottom here is very, I would say, unusual that you get this, but let's see what tomorrow means. There was some work on SPY after hours. I don't know if you guys are watching the tape, but there was 3.5 million shares bought after hours on SPY. So just multiply 3.5 million by whatever the price is at close, and you'll get the amount. It was a large order on SPY. So if they're able to kind of push this above here, which is our half the year POC for 22, they really have a chance to run it. Of course, this is half, but this is our full, and in between we have that kind of like the POC from this area at 18. So this area here between 39.20 and 12, it's 8 points, right? It's not a lot, but it's a good zone to get a potential bounce, just like we did here. We bounced literally right off that June dev value area high, January dev value area high, which probably shifted. So make sure you guys update this. I'm not going to do it now, but guys should definitely check this one to update it. We don't have a lot of days. We're kind of approaching, half here. So you guys just watch. You have, 2 days here, 5. So you have another 9 days left of the month before we get into February. And if I'm not mistaken, is the VIX expiring tomorrow? I think VIX expiration's tomorrow.
Shorty, what do you mean update what?
Just that if you have the January dev value area high, developing value area high, this
Okay.
definitely changed.
No, Shorty. January 25th is VIX. Weeklies.
No. The monthly expirations. When is it? Is that the only month expiration that they have?
It was today.
Yeah.
It was today. There you go. That's the reason for
Next
the dump
one's February 15th.
Okay. So it was today. I thought it was tomorrow. I thought it was Thursday. So okay, well that explains it. So where's VIX? Is VIX above 20? Okay. All right, good. We're gonna, yeah, there's a high chance we're gonna have an update tomorrow. So anyone can read this why?
There's a fair value gap.
I don't know if this is a fair value gap here. I have no idea, but remember the imbalances when they caused, the market makers like to come back to the 50% retracements. There was a huge imbalance created here when they dumped VIX, right? I think personally it was manipulation, right? When they did this, then they bounced it off this trend line. We talked about an 803 level, I think it was, yeah, right there. But now we're coming back to that 61.8 level as well. We tagged the 68.2, which is your value area, the fib or ratio that we use in standard deviations. So now, if this was to dip below 1989, I think we're going to rip on ES. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on tomorrow to see. I didn't check a lot of stocks on see how they closed, like Apple. Did they really push it, or what did they do? But here's Apple again. I mean, it is struggling to yeah. So this so far is a very bearish setup for me on Apple right now. Does anyone know what this is in terms of candles? What
Shooting
setup?
star. Evening star.
Okay, we can qualify. Anyone else? Dumpster got it today. You guys ever heard of bearish piercing candle? No.
No, not sure.
Does it look like that? Did it close below the 50% of the body here?
Yeah.
But I think 65-minute it has a head and shoulder as well, Apple.
Yeah, you guys know I don't. I don't look for patterns much. I only play trend lines and that I notice them, but if market makers can believe you, the pattern does something, I think they can do that, right? They can they can send you to go get them water and give you a pattern, and then they do the total opposite. Apple's actually a good example on that. They had a head and shoulder way back, or inverse head and shoulder here that was building on Apple for some time. I think it was somewhere around here. I forgot where exactly. I think it was here. Yeah, this one. This one right here was an inverse head and shoulders that was building, right? When did you guys, see an inverse head and shoulder be on the top? Inverse head and shoulders a reversal pattern. They don't occur on the tops. Neither do head and shoulders. Somebody, I forgot who, somebody on Twitter posted a head and shoulders pattern occurring on the bottom. And you know what's the worst shit? This move is going to validate his pattern continuation of a head and shoulders occurring on the bottom. So inverse head and shoulders, they happen on the bottom. When you're trending down, then they have a peak, something like this, where they create a head, meaning it's called the market maker pattern. They grab the liquidity below levels to make sure that they get enough shares and that they take you guys out. So if this is, the bottom, this is when they create inverse head and shoulders, right? So here's your, let me just kind of visualize it for you guys. So here's your inverse head and shoulders, I would say probably on 4 hours here. So if you think about it from here to here, you can make a case for inverse head and shoulders here because we're in the bottom. If this is your head right here, this is your right shoulder, this can be your left shoulder imbalanced. And that can rip higher, and you can measure this and you probably reach the target, from the bottom of the head to the top to the neckline, let's say here, so 9%. Yeah, these things you can definitely trade, but when people talk about certain things, let's see, where is this? That's close enough. So that would have been a target. So we missed it by, I don't know how many, by 29 points. Which is, room for error. That's pretty good. But if you see something like, yeah, I can believe 65-minute pattern, Karthik. Yeah, I think it can happen, right? Especially because you're still, on Apple, you're in a bear flag still. So I don't see a reason why not. Just be careful calling patterns like continuation pattern, like head and shoulders. That's never been a bear flag is a continuation pattern of a downtrend. A head and shoulders as a reversal and something that happens usually at the top. And if you guys look at Amazon, does anyone see a head and shoulders here?
Yeah.
Where's the thing here?
It's right there, right? When you have yeah, right there.
Guys see that? When I posted this, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, I saw this pattern, and are we at the top? Was this the tippy top of Amazon? And now you think about it, why is there a peak above it? Does anyone remember from Anna Cooling book? Why do we break this consolidation to go up?
To test.
Second.
Yeah, it's to test it. And they also remember, think about it of wholesale and emptying the warehouse. Who's watching this pattern of consolidation?
Retail.
Retail. What did they do here? They bought long.
They bought
What
calls.
did they do here? They bought calls.
Side liquidity.
Okay, so these guys are trying to offload, and then, you know, if you just zoom in a little bit and you follow this, where's the volume pickup? Boom. Green candle, right? Volume pickup. Pay attention to these volumes here. Hopefully this makes sense a little bit, right? And then you see here, right? Then you had this giant candle. This is your short entry right here, actually. Look at that. So they're telling you this is a selling climax. They have one thrust up outside of it. Usually not two on the monthlies. I mean, they consolidated this bad boy for quite a bit, almost 2 years. But they gave you indication that they're offloading. And like we covered before, they also gave you indication that magically they were not aware of the COVID, that it was coming. Because somehow they accumulated for 610 days right before that. Right before March happens, you have a hammer candle here and an explosion shortly after. But interesting point is, were they buying this? No, it's called PR. They gave you or us the news, and the retail propelled it for them while their orders were here. And then simply what we teach in the Discord, if you do this, this is where you can expect to see a bounce, right? If you come to this level, and here they had that candle close, they went up as high as 104. And now we're still kind of below it, testing the value area low here. But simple concept, guys. It's all about stages. Accumulate it, mark up, distribution, mark down, and then look what's going to happen next, right? Is this demand going to hold? It's hard to tell, particularly in this one, just because you're in a monthly. You would need a lot more data to figure it out, to see if this demand holds versus this supply. But then you look at a little bit of fundamentals, and it should tell you the picture if it has a little bit more to go or down. I still think we can get our orders in at 70 on this, so I'm just gonna stay on the sidelines for a little bit. Okay. Any questions on ES? Are you guys comfortable with what we covered? Why things happened the way we saw it, especially the trades we took? Do they make sense? Why I was waiting?
Shorty, I had a question about that fixed range volume profile that you have all the way over there to your right.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Sometimes, like you mentioned, you grab the accumulation and then also the dump. So
you don't have to grab the accumulation. Don't ever grab. I'm sorry. Don't ever grab the dump. You don't have to.
Okay.
It will not change much. Here's with the dump. If it changes, that means you're grabbing too much.
Okay.
And here's, so that's with, and if I change it to be without, sorry, I'm struggling with the mouse. I'll print to this candle here. Did it change much?
No, it lines up.
So it's the law of average numbers and averages, right? I mean, think about it. What we are looking for when we're trying to chart this is the overlap on candles, right? So if you take a look here, this candle here overlaps this one overlap here, this one overlap. They're all overlapping here. Like this one has tiny little bit of overlap, right? On the wicks, overlap, and then overlap. And then this one breaks that overlap here. So this, as some people call it, right, in trading, this becomes the master candle, the breakout candle. And I think in the ICT world, there's a name for it. I just don't know it personally. But, it's a big order that triggered this to sell off, and, it's picking up volume. And now let's see how this at least this 15 minutes, can this convert to be stopping volume? And that's something that you should look for. And today also, I told you guys to have your, did anyone have orbit volume of VWAP today? I told you guys the weekly is gonna be like the most important, especially today. So hopefully you guys had it up, but the weekly was super, super important today. So hopefully you guys have that, and I would stick to this just because you have something here coming up. Keep that in mind. This is your year-to-date VWAP here, so I would definitely keep this on your chart here. Okay. So I would think this area 39.20 is going to offer some bounce, and then we could potentially play that. And tomorrow I would say don't go below 5 minutes. Let's see what they offer, but it looks like we'll get a low relief bounce tomorrow. If not, then we know the levels below that as well. Every single one of them. There's a couple of epochs, and then here we have even more levels. This is a big boy level here, just so you guys know. This is the level off of the daily right here. This is huge right here. So this is our POC where we bounce from, but this will be our SR flip right here around 39.20. So if you guys think about it, we accumulated here, popped. If you want acceptance, what do we have to do here?
We test and go higher.
We need to accept this by going bouncing from here and making a higher high here. Okay.
Shorty, can you complete Apple? You started, but then we extracted from the.
Yeah, let's see, APL. I think Apple's headed, I'm sorry, to, I would take this accumulation here. I would say 130, most likely. Let me see if I'm grabbing too much. Pessimistically, I would say 126. And their ER is February 2nd. And I think this is the day when we can start shit show potentially.
There's a SR flip also was there, right? Around 134.
34, 37, I believe. 74. Oh man, I'm dyslexic, so don't take the first number. There you go. 134, 44. Did I say 37? I think I did. Yeah, that's the SR flip here. So once you lose this right here, ideally, you know, you want to be a little bit patient here just because we had a nice move now. And this is for you tomorrow. Listen, we had a nice move. It really didn't break much in terms of big boys and stuff. You know, we didn't break SRs. We didn't break key supports yet. So we need to see this. And then this would be the best entry would be here. Because most likely what happens on stocks and how you trigger it, they will accumulate so close to this level that if they create an imbalance from it, that becomes the POC as well. And that's the best setup you can have.
I came like centimeters close to hitting my stop loss today on Apple.
Oh, good. Glad you did it.
You check Walmart, Shorty?
Yep. Let me see Walmart. That'd probably be the last one. I need to go get some. Oh. So many people are bullish on Walmart. I can name them. Okay, well. This here, you could call. What could you call this? Somebody, the expert from earlier on. I mean, you
Head and
went
shoulders.
from. Yeah, so you went from 117 to 150. And Walmart moves like a snail. So we're still, if you think about this, we're still pretty high. And if you go on monthly, this is going to tell you a really good story. I hope you can replicate the story I gave you on Amazon. Focus on this. They had a trap. Was it similar like Amazon? And this was the bullshit with the guidance, if you guys recall.
Accumulation, you trapped the retail.
Here's your sell-off again. Here's another candle here that's worth noting. What's this candle right here? And then here's, I think we're gonna get a bounce here soon. So that was just a scalp on the video DM. I'll show you why. So there's potential for a bounce. And what do you do when you're accumulating like this? What should you do? If you're trading the range, where do you think we're gonna bounce?
POC.
Of the POC.
Yeah, tomorrow they're gonna bounce. Yep. So in terms of the structured trading that I've shown you and given you examples, this is a really, really good one. So you have your value area high that's set right here. You have your value area low. It's really condensed. So here you had a spring, right? This is our SSL. You had a nice spring right from here. And what did they do? Anytime you have a spring or if you have a creek on the top, there's I would say 100% chance you're going to go to the top of the range. And look what they did here. Pretty quick sentiment change, right? you drop below the range and from here you go to the top. Right. So that's the market maker pattern. That's how they make a killing, right? They get all your liquidity here, sell side, and then they come here, they kill your buy side. And now you guys are, man, you're asking me a question on Walmart, particularly because you don't know if you should short it or go long. And it's honestly neither one. And a lot of people will look to short. I would never short this right here. Does anyone know why?
Looks like we're around the 50% of that range.
How about this?
Consolidation POC.
Until you're able to break this low right here, which is like 138, I would not touch it. And that level, I remember this level actually. This was a SR flip. Yeah. So there goes. Excuse me. Came back, rejected, passed, retest, go long. Now you have to break through this or bounce here. Yeah, so I'll be watching this if I was trading, but there's just I would not short this right now. Because remember, it's not the single level that we care about. This is your range. And it seems like we kind of inside of it now. So I'll definitely watch this tomorrow. And then, if I wanted short, my short would be here, 145, I guess, even. Okay, I'm already short in this one. I have about $20,000 worth of puts on this one. We'll see how they do. I'm already up nicely, but we'll see how I need them to fill this all the way to here. 87. I'll trim a lot as we approach halfway between. The video today, the video was fairly easy. You guys look in the video. So I think, let's see. Yeah, this is where I think at this time, if you check DM, was it at 12 when I said this was a good short, or was it here at 11? I can't search myself. I don't know how to use this damn Discord. Okay, let's see the video. Actually at 3:01. Where was it? So it was here, but I said that. And it was the same concept here. We came here, we dumped, so you had a nice sell-off from here. You came and you really were not able to break this VWAP. When I saw that these VWAPs collided here, especially when the whole market's dumping, I'll always take a chance to short it, right? And you can put a stop loss somewhere right above it. So in this case, you would have been like, I don't know, we're talking about maybe 30 cents. So that's where I was saying at 3:01, this was a really potentially good short for it right here, I guess, on this candle when it broke this. And it closed, where did it go? All the way to 173. So you could have caught $2 move on the video here, which probably would have paid. Cat. It finally decided to move. Wow. Well, they got me. I gave up on it. They got me twice. Most likely they're gonna do this crap right here. So 240. If I was to do this proper way. So 243, and then I would say their last accumulation was here. That's been untested. If you guys look right here, it's going to 240. I think 240 on the dot is coming on it. So it has $12 to go. But you guys see that they somehow reaccumulate every single one of these. So 248. If they lose this, you can play the 240s, and I think this is a high probability trade here. UNH. Oh wow, it's back on the trend line. What do we draw this off of? Okay. I mean, they're definitely offloading this. Yeah. This was your sign here. Yeah, I think it goes all the way to the bottom here. I think it has another $28. Big bull. I honestly think it has more, but it's gonna bounce here soon. It's gonna go from here to here. So it broke the 50 and the 60. The only thing remaining to check would be this. And we were right at the value area low. So watch this. If it reclaims this level tomorrow or this week, it's gonna be a pretty good bounce. It could go to 500. So yeah, I mean, it has identical setup as, I mean, there's a lot of controversies around healthcare stocks, just FYI, especially this one, on how they're able to go, from 188 to 580. It just seems there's a lot of lobbying involved. I mean, it definitely looks, once he loses this 445, this is probably the prime candidate to just go share short instead of option short. I'll definitely look into it, but it has a demand zone that hasn't been tested. So just FYI, 410. Most likely it goes there. Let me see what this one did. So this one did pretty much what we expected it to do. It bounced here, value areas here. This one's gonna go back to 250. This one has a pretty good chart, but let's see what they do here. Wow, that's a lot of selling here. Wow, haven't seen that in a while. Well, we should keep an eye on this for tomorrow for short. But guys, keep an eye on this tomorrow. If somebody can tag this one tomorrow. TJ, if you got time, tag that one for us. What is this?
Sorry, Shorty, I stepped away from my computer. Which ticker?
It was now. Service now.
Okay.
There's a potential for a move down. Yeah, whatever this is, being pretty much do or die, and this looks like to be pretty much a market maker pattern here. I would think this might bounce here just because I'm seeing some bullish volume anomalies. It seems like they're getting at this level, they're buying this. What is this, like Walgreens? Is this Walgreens, or is I thought Walgreens had a different ticker? Yeah, but this is
That is not Walgreens.
Yeah, some kind of boots alliance. I don't know where Bean found this one. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good level to go. I mean, think about it. They accumulated here for 5,000 days, and then they popped it, and now they're gonna come back to it. So I don't know. A share might not be a bad idea. And what's the other one? Bank of America. Yeah, still consolidating or in this range right here. Yeah, they had their credit provisions for defaults are fairly high. Would not be shocked if we go back here. Like $24. I think that I'll buy some shares here. Not a lot. I don't like. I don't trust financials that their provisions for losses are going to be small. I think we'll find out in about 18 months because all those builder loans that they have, they take out 12 to 18 months to play out. I don't see them. Yeah, I see them single digits. So if I buy here, I'm not going to buy heavy. They're going to come back to this here. You'll be able to get them like Warren Buffett. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. I'm gonna go get some sleep. Hopefully, you guys had a good session. Sorry it took long, but I just wanted to cover some
Thank you,
kind
Shorty.
of psychology and mental side for all of you, and kind of give you a little bit of wake up call. You know, if you think you're doing a lot, just check again, right?
Thank you,
Thank
Shorty.
you.
Focus and change your mentality a little bit.
Thank you, man. Have a good night.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, bye bye.